In this video, we are going to implement a single area OSPF implementation. So if you've never, just to focus on simple area or single area, what we're going to do is we're going to use the network statement on R2, the network statement on R3, and then the interface statement on R1. And we are going to, it's going to be a broadcast configuration, and then we're going to take a look at getting that implemented, getting it situated, and go from there. Like I said, I'll come back to more specific stuff later on when we get into the details of it. This is just getting our operations set up. So you won't be able to tell in the video description that it's going to be, I'm not going into the details right now, but this is just going to be getting it operational and just the initialization. The same thing with when we do area of 345 here with OSPF over our BGP connection. So everything here in the middle of your topology, all this stuff right here is all going to be BGP. So literally everything in the middle of your screen right here, this is all going to be BGP. So this is an ISP. These two are ISPs. We have 4 different ISPs, and the way that we have it set up is 3 of them are global routing table or global BGP. And then we have an MPLS BGP. So we have a dedicated connection for that setup, and then there will be some overlap with how they actually forward. So where MPLS will work is only on the gig 3/0 and the gig 1/0. So these interfaces at fast 2/0 and fast 2/1, they will not be MPLS enabled. They will be regular BGP going through there. So we'll see a lot of inter AS BGP like you should be seeing in the CCIE lab, and going from there. And then we'll have area 0 over here, and that'll allow us to get everything connected to how we need it configured, and go from there. So this is just going to be the initialization. So this is going to be single area, and then I'll shoot a video where it does multi-area, which will be the next video, which will get this guy configured. So we'll do area 0 here, area 1267 here between 612 and 17, and then area 177 between router 17 and router 7. Then I'll come back and I will do area 3 in this video. The next video is going to be the multi-area. This video will be a single area, area 0 here. This video will be also this guy right here and this guy down here. This will be a single area. The reason why we're doing a single area with MPLS is because of the fact that there is some issues that come into play with your when you're doing multi-area OSPF. That has to be, as far as I'm aware, and I still have to go back and double check this, you can only use a single area within an MPLS domain. I might be wrong about that because I'm not a service provider expert, but I'm pretty sure this is one of those issues that pops into it. So we're going to be covering 3 major areas in this video: the HQ, this ISP, and the MPLS VPN. So the first thing we're going to start off with is router 1, and we're going to do go to interface gig 1/0, and we're typing IP OSPF. The process ID is going to be 1, and then the area that it's going to be inside is area 0. And that's all we have to do. Then we're going to go to router 2. We're going to say we are going to connect to router OSPF 1. Network is going to be 10.1.123.0, 0.0.0.255. Oh, area 0. And that's all we're going to have to do. We're going to do the same thing over on router 3. And we're going to router OSPF 1. Network is 10.1.123.0. That's all we're going to do. The one thing I should do before I go any farther would be to do a show IP interface brief. So that peering is up to that peering is up, or the interfaces are up, I should say. That's what I'm trying to say. Do show IP interface brief, and that one is up. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump out of here. I'm going to do a ping to 10.1.123.2. No problem there, and then .1. Okay, I've got that. So why is it not forming an adjacency? Oh, there they go. It just took a little while. So we have full peerings there. and that's going to be how we get this stuff set up. I mean, OSPF is very, very easy to do, and yes, I'm using an interface statement here. So if we were to jump down and then do a show IP OSPF neighbors, we have two neighbors. Right now, 3 is the DR because he's got the highest IP address. We have router 2 is the BDR, and if we were to do a show IP OSPF interfaces, we're only going to have one, which is going to be gig 1/0, and we have it is broadcast. It's a cost of 1. It's a DR other. We'll come, like I mentioned earlier, we will come back and talk about broadcast and non-broadcast and how to do the manipulation. This is just the initialization that I'm focusing on right now. So we're going to get all of the routing protocols operational first, and then we'll get into the details of everything else. So that's how we're going to get that operational. And then that's pretty much it for that section. So we've done a network statement on 3 and 2, and the interface statement on router 1. Everything is working. So now what we're going to do is we're going to slide across to these guys, so 23, 24, and 25. And we're going to configure just interface statements on these 3. So 23, we're going to go to interface gig 1/0, and we're typing IP OSPF 1 areas, and it's going to be 345. Thinking here. No, can't do that. Gotta do area 0. Area 0. Same thing on 24. Config T, interface. Interface gig 1/0. And then we're going to go to 25. I'm going to go back to 23. Now it should take a couple seconds for it to come up, because this is going to be so we shouldn't. It's gonna take. It'll take a few seconds, like I did with the first section. If we were to do a show IP OSPF interfaces brief, we're doing that. We have no neighbors yet, but we will momentarily. Now the thing with using the interface command, when you use this, that's going to put OSPF on both the primary IP address and all the secondary interfaces, and there we go. So we got 25, and so momentarily we should get 24. It just takes a little bit, and there's 24. So now we have that. We have two neighbors, two full neighbors, and we should see show IP OSPF neighbor, and 25 is the DR because he's at the higher IP address, 24 is the BDR, and 23 is the DR other. So we have OSPF running there. Then we're going to slide over one more time, and we're going to configure on these 4 routers. We're going to do a OSPF on this point-to-point connection between 4 and 5 as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to router 4, and I'm going to use I'm actually going to script this. And what I mean by scripting is I'm going to, let me do a new notepad document. So what I'm going to do, the view, the font doesn't need to be 22, it can be, let's do 12. So we're going to type in router OSPF 1. Type in network is going to be 10.45.126.0.0.0.255 area 0, and then network is going to be 10.1.1.0.0.0.255 area 0. So we're going to type that in on all of these guys here, 4, 5, 6, and 12, and that's going to be our configuration for that. And we'll do this for 4 and 5 first. And let me bring this down just a little bit and bring this over. And there's a question: why am I doing it so putting it in there the way that I'm putting it in there? To speed up the process. So we're just going to right click and paste that there. We're going to go to 5, do the same thing. Right click and paste. And then we're just going to whack this line right here. And we're going to click on 6, go to global config, and right click and paste. And then the same thing on 12. Router, type that in. Right click and paste. Now, one of the things that we do need to do though is we need to enter network. It's going to be 10.100.0.0.255.255 area 0. And we need to do that for all these networks. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back, copy it, I'm going to slide back over to here onto router 1, and I'm going to go to global config, router OSPF 1, or no, I don't have to do that. We'll type in interface loopback 0 and type in IP OSPF 1 area 0. On router 2 we'll do this and just copy and paste that in. So that's going to average. Oh. Grab that and we'll just modify this a little bit. There's a question: why am I doing it this way? This is going to be so we can advertise our loopbacks in. So config T router OSPF 1, and then right click and paste that guy in there. And then we're going to go to slide across for 23, 24, and 25. We are at the interface level with that one, so we'd have to go on 23. We're going to have to go to interface loopback 0, IP OSPF 1, area 0. 1 area 0. And do the same thing on 24. So interface loopback 0, IP OSPF 1, area 0, and 25, same thing. It's important to do it on here on the loopbacks, especially because we're going to be running BGP and we're going to want to be able to dynamically fail over if we need to. So even though we're switched here, where this is actually going to come into play and be more beneficial is across here, because we're going to peer on the back end with the loopback, and then depending on where things are going, that'll be the direction we go with that for failover. So we've done that now. So now if we were to do a show IP route, we should have loopbacks in here now, which is good. We do. And then we're going to slide over to 4. And we have the adjacencies there now, and we have network is going to be 10.100.0.0. Right click and paste. Same thing on 5. Six and 12. And then we're going to go to, on 6, we're going to advertise the network of network 10.1.67.0.0.0.31, because we only want to advertise it for this network. So by using a /27, that tells us it's going to be a 32 range. So 27 is going to be the 32-bit marker in that octet. So 31 area 0, and that's what we're going to do there. And we're going to do that on 12, or I'm sorry, 17 when we get there. On 12, we're going to click. Or I'm sorry, that was Control A no. Make sure you're on the right box when you configure that. We're going to type in network is going to be 10.1.67.0.0.0.31. 31 in area 1267. I'm going to go to router 12 then, and we're going to say network is going to be 10.1.127.0, 0.0.0.31, area 1267. I'm going to go to router 17. And did I advertise the loopbacks into those guys? I did. Okay. And then router 17, config T, router OSPF 1. Type in network is going to be 10.100.0.0, area 1267. And then we're going to have to type in network is going to be 10.1.67.0. 31 is the wildcard, and then we're going to type in area 1267, and then we're just going to hit the up arrow and go 127. And then we'll go to, and there goes our adjacency, so that's a great sign. And then we're going to type in, let's see, what is that? Network. Network 177.0.0.0, 0.0.0.31, area 177. Now the kicker with this one is this will form an adjacency, but R4 and 5 won't be able to see it because they're going to be discontiguous. So I'm going to actually have to do this as a virtual link, which is fine with me. I don't mind. I actually like virtual links. That's why I keep doing them. And so global config, router OSPF 1. The process ID is arbitrary as well. You can do whatever process you want on the router. It's locally significant. It's only when you have process ID, if you have to take this router and you split it in half, you do one here and you do two here, you'd have to redistribute between the two in order to get it to go back and forth between them, to get routes to propagate. So on router 7 we're going to go to global config, or type in network is going to be 177.0.0.0 and 0.0.0.31, area 177. That's going to form the relationship. We're also type of network is going to be 10.100.0.0, 0.0.255.255, area 177. Same thing on router 17. So network is going to be 10.100.0.0, 0.0.255.255, area 177. Now if we go to router 4, we do a show IP route. We will not have those routes in the routing table. So we will not have the 177 network. We will not have. We have the inter-area routes, the 67. So we'll have router 67's loopback in here. Then I did advertise that right. We'll have router 17's loopback, I should say. We have 6 and 12s. We don't have 17s. Did I specify that? Oh, I changed it to a different area. That's what it was. So we'll put it there. That's where it should be. And so that's going to. I changed it from a different area. Now it should show up in 4. So now if we do this, now it shows up. So we have that. Now what I have to do on 17 and 7, I have to configure 17 and 7 because 17 is an ABR. I have to go to 17 and type in area 177 is going to be a virtual link, and then the peers address is going to be 10.100.7.7. That's going to be the loopback, and then we're going to do the same thing on the remote end on 7, and then type in, right click and paste that guy in, and then type in 17.17, and that should be all I'd have to do, and so the virtual link should form pretty quickly here. Or is it 1267? No, it's 1267. That's what it is. 1267. And then on 7, it's going to be the same thing, 1267. That's what it's going to be. So in 17 we should get the virtual link to pop up here momentarily. So while we wait for that, it should have come up by now. Show IP OSPF interfaces. Brief. Virtual link 0, they're both down. So let's do a show IP or show run pipe section OSPF. Do I have two configured? You usually have more than one virtual link. I do. Router OSPF 1, no. So we should be able to go back to 17 and let me do a debug. Debug IP OSPF packet. Say you all there, debug IP OSPF hello. Are we sending a hello out there, or is it misconfigured? Let's see here. Let's do a show IP OSPF and virtual links. So let's see here. So do we know it's down? Transit area is going to be 1267, which is correct. Let's see what it says on 7. I don't know why it's not working. It's going to cost us 65535. I know I've got it configured right. So I'll come back to that here in just a minute. I don't want to get hung up on anything. So we're going to configure OSPF area 0 between these guys just to get it operational. And then we'll come back to the virtual link thing. We can even remove the virtual link. Or the other thing we could do is we don't have to use a virtual link. We could actually use a Gre Tunnel. So we might actually try that too. So let's do this. This is what I recommend you do in the lab. Don't get hung up. If you get hung up on anything, go okay. Come back to that in a couple minutes, because usually if you come back to it a couple minutes later, you're coming back to it fresh. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the network command on everything here. So config T. We're going to say router OSPF 1. We're going to type in the network is going to be, everything here is 28 and 29. So 10 dot, yeah, so the config is right there. So network is going to be 10.28.29.0 0.0.0.0.255 area 0. And do the same thing on 29. And then we're also going to type in network is going to be 10.29.30.0.0.0.255. Area 0. And we're going to do 31. And I'm going to go to 30, which is going to be up, we're going to be going northbound. I'm going to go to 30. And we're going to go config T, router, OSPF1. Then the primary reason why I do a show IP interface brief before I go to configure routing protocols when I'm not familiar with the topology is so that I don't have to sit there and guess. I can either have the diagram open or I can have this open. So we're going to type in network is going to be 10.30.32.0.0.0.255 area 0. And then 32. 29.30. And that should be all we have to do there. I'm going to go due south to 31. Config T, router, OSPF1. And then network is going to be 10.29.30.0.0. 0.0.0.255 area 0, and then we're also going to do 32. So 30.32, and that's going to be that. And then on 32, and I'm going to type in network is going to be 10.30.32.0.0.255 area 0. So we should be able to go back to 28, and 28 has an adjacency, 29 has two adjacencies, 30 has two adjacencies, 31 has no adjacencies. 32 has one adjacency to 30, 31 has nothing. Why does it have nothing? Network 10.30.32. Okay. 30 has connections to both 29 and 32. 32 has a connection to 30. Why does 31 not have anything pop up? Both interfaces are operational. So gig 1/0 is 2930, and fast 2/0 is 3032. Oh, 3132. What do I have on 32? 3132. Fast 2/0. Yeah, see, I have to type in 3132. That's what the problem is. And on 31 as well. So it's not this one, it's, we'll plug 3132 in there. That's what the problem is. So now we should form a neighbor relationship. Momentarily anyway. I'll wait a second for it to pop up, which it should any moment now. Hold on, we're at 31. Oh, that's why. It's not going to come up because the interface is wrong. Interface, fast 2/0. IP address is 10.31.32.30. 1. The IP addresses are wrong. I have 30s addressing on 31. That's why it's not working. 255.0. .0, and then gigabit gigabit 1/0 is going to be interface. Gig 1/0 is going to be that should take care of that problem. Alright, let's go back up to our connection up here with, let's go to 12, no, 17. Alright, so it's still down. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to pull that out. We're going to pull the virtual link config off 17. So we're going to type in show run pipe section OSPF. I don't know why it's not working. Show IP route. Do we see 7 coming in? We see 7 coming in. So if we were to do a ping to this address, we can get there. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to create a Gre tunnel, and then we're going to use Gre. So we're going to go to global config. Interface tunnel is going to be 177. The tunnel source is going to be loopback 0. The tunnel destination is going to be 177.0.0.7. Tunnel destination. Is going to be that, and then we're going to type in IP address is going to be 177.0.0.17 24-bit mask, or 20.224.32/27. Let's change this to be 17 then. And then we're going to go to router OSPF 1 and do the up arrow a couple times. Type in network is going to be 17.0.0.0 0.0.255.25 or area 177. Oh, is that going to fix it? One, 2, 6, 7. No, they gotta be in the same area. I'm perplexed. Let's see here. We need to do on the ABR. So this guy right here is an ABR. We configured a virtual link, but that virtual link never came up. Let's do this. Let's put the virtual link back in place. And we're going to do a debug Ip Ospf adjacency. We're going to go to 7 and do a show virtual links, and it's down. Why is it down? 17, is there anything here that let's see here. Let's debug OSPF v3. No, we're not using. Debug Ip Ospf. Let's see here. Events, flood, packet would make the most sense. Hello. Should we debug all? Not sure why it's not working. Because it should just configure. It should just appear on 7. Unless it's because it's virtual link 1 and virtual link 0, but that's local. Show IP route. Oh, that's why. Show run pipe section OSPF. Yeah, I think that's the problem. We're not actually peering with. We're not even learning any routes. So that's what the problem is. It has nothing to do with my configuration. You all. So we need to. So if we were to do a show IP route, we should be learning router 7's loopback, which we are. But if we go to, we do a trace route to this address, we get there. But if we look at router 7, wait, no, let's do a show run pipe section OSPF. Am I advertising my loopback in? I am, but I'm not advertising it to 177. That's why it's not working. Because I got this in the wrong network. That's why it's not working. So config t router OSPF 1 and type in the network statement. This guy has to be in 177. If we're going to peer with 177, if we want to peer, if the virtual link is going to work, and we have to get it to be in the right area. So we have to make sure that so now it should be able to see it. So 7 should be able to see. And I can see router 17's loopback. And now we should be able to, on 17, we should just be able to do, the virtual link should be able to go across 1267. Router 7 should have the same config. Yeah, why is it not coming up though? You can see it now. That was the problem. You couldn't see the loopback. See, this is why we test things, because you would have been like, oh, wait a minute. So 17's virtual link is still down. And we're putting the virtual link over area 1267. So let's do this. Let's go area 177 virtual link to this address. And we're going to get no, and we're going to pull this guy out. Go to 7, do the same thing. So we're going to just do, I think that's where I'm making my mistake here, because he doesn't know how to reach this in area 1267. Oh, so we'll just copy and paste this in, or router OSPF1. We'll copy and paste that in, and we'll type in no, and we'll pull this guy out. See if that fixes it. I think that's the problem. Go to 17. Still not working. What's up with this? Debug IP OSPF. It might be just taking a long time to come up. Debug IP OSPF adjacency, hello, and packet. Hellos are being sent and received. Why is it not coming up? Can we debug IP OSPF? So we can't debug the virtual link. That'd be great. 7. Show IP OSPF interface brief. Hold on a second. IP address is what does it say on 17? Down as well. I know my config is right. I know it is. Here's the command reference for OSPF, and this is how I know I'm right. So if we would go to, is it this one? OSPF. It's one of these commands is in here. Area virtual link. So let's bring this guy over, spread this guy up, and area ID virtual link. So you would do this on and notice all areas must be connected to the backbone. A lost connection to the backbone can be repaired by establishing a backbone. Let's see here. Area 1 virtual link. So, oh, you know why? We have to take a one hop back. No, we shouldn't have to do that. Yeah, because it should be. Oh, you know why? No, I've done this before. I did it in the Advanced Technologies class. We had, let me pull up, cancel. Let me pull this out just a little bit. File, and this guy. So this is the CCIE version 5 topology we've grown to know, right? Well, the thing with this is 58 was connected to Area 0. So Area 0 ran 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 across the DMVPN. I had Area 58 configured here, and then I configured a virtual link between 8 and 10, so I know it works. I'm just perplexed as why it's not. I just don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think it just might be the fact. I'm really not sure why it's not coming up. But yeah, I'm not sure. But normally, what you would do is we can actually remove it to 177, make it 1267. It really wouldn't make any difference. I don't. Virtual links, technically speaking, are not something that you should be running in production anyway. They're just a band-aid to fix something until you can redesign it. So you know what we're gonna do? Does it even bring up virtual links? Yeah, virtual link path selection. So let's just pull it out. I'm not gonna sit here and waste my time trying to figure out why it's broke. I bet you any money if we were to reboot or something, that would fix it. Because right now 1267 is going to be the area we use to get to that. So, technically speaking, we should be able to, we wouldn't be able to do this on 12 because of the fact that would be like doing router 5 in the previous diagram and then doing the virtual link between these two, and that would not be the way to do it. Because you had to do 17 to 7 would be how you would configure that. So, I'm not sure why it's not working. I don't know what the bug is right now. So the cost is saying it's arbitrarily high, and we can't go to interface. Like we couldn't go to global config and type in config t interface virtual link 3. We wouldn't be able to type that in and go anywhere because virtual link, we're going to type interface virtual link. We don't have virtual link as an option. So it's a arbitrary thing. We would be able to. We could fix this with the Gre Tunnel, and we'll say. Actually, I think we already have it configured. Do show IP interface. Yeah, we do have the tunnel up or configured. So do show run interface tunnel 177. We could take this over and let's see here. Go to 7 and go to global config and right click and paste. We could just take the IP address and flip this out to be 7, and then the tunnel destination would be would be 17. Oh, maybe that's what the problem is. Hold on a second. I think I just might have figured it out. 17. Let's do a... No. No, I'm right. 100. Is that it? $17.17? No, that's not it. So it's going to be 177.0.17, and that should bring that up. So now we should be able to advertise this into OSPF. So we're already 17's already got this configured in the tunnel. Or no, we don't. So we can router OSPF 1 and network is going to be 17.0.0.0 0.0.0.31 and area 177, and then we're going to do the same thing on router 7. Router OSPF 1, do the same thing. And then we should be able to get a... Let's go to show IP route. Did that fix anything? show. I don't think it did it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to pull this out and go config t router OSPF1 and do a do show run pipe section OSPF and type in no this, and then the network is going to be area 1267. This one will be 1267, and this one will be a no. And then we'll go to router 17 and we'll type in do show run section OSPF. No to this guy. And this guy is going to be so this guy will pull this out. This will be 1267. So I'll put in. I'm actually waiting for the adjacency to come up. Did I put the right adjacency in on the 7 side? There it goes. So we'll plug in this guy, and it's going to be OSPF 1 area 1267. So there, that's that. So now we have that situated. So now we go to what is that, 4, and we do a show IP route. We should have 7's information in there. If we do a trace route to that, we should get there. So that's a great sign. So we're getting to where we need to be, and everything else looks good. So that's going to be our multi-area implementation. So we've I do apologize about that. I don't know why this is not working, but it isn't. So single area implementation, single area, and then multi-area, and then we have a single area down here at the bottom. So that's going to be that. Now that we've got that operational, we're going to move into BGP for the next video, and we'll come back to the network types and stuff like that later on once we get things operational. And then BGP, we're going to do both iBGP and eBGP. We'll try to make that as quickly as we can. So our external BGP peerings are going to be the ones you see in your screen. I'm going to expand this just a hair. So external BGP is going to be all the red lines, and the white line, these lines in between, and we're going to be doing a lot of default routing, just straight internet, no BGP, just straight internet, or like an IGP. So we'll do like a RIP between these two guys, or like an OSPF on this interface, or an EIGRP and EIGRP, and then we'll do OSPF to where they need to go. So we'll take a look at BGP for just a couple of them. So we've got 6 MPLS connections. We're going to be looking at those. We'll do like a RIP and EIGRP and OSPF, and OSPF, a BGP, and then like an EIGRP or a BGP. So I'll mix it up a little bit to see exactly how it all comes into play. But we'll have a lot of iBGP and get that operational. So I'm going to do an EIGRP config and RIP config, and then we'll get into the BGP. So I hope this has been informative for you. I want to thank you for viewing.